Wanted to accuse me of homosexual. That don't hurt me. Not hurt me by calling me a homosexual. Just like you can't hurt me by calling me a heterosexual. Putting your nasty cock beaters on me is pretty dumb. And of course, you started off with that pushy shovey bullshit, which by law is an assault, right? But we already know the law here. Well, they don't care what's against the law and what ain't. What they care about is who's easiest to victimize. Who's the easiest prey? Loftman knows all about going out and selecting his prey. Now we got this feller here. He's a junkie out here. He don't want to be called a junkie. Well, he can deal with it. And take it. What's the difference between he and I? I back my shit up. What's the difference between he and I? I didn't go looking for trouble. What's the difference between he and I? I didn't put my nasty cock beaters on him. What's the difference between he and I? I recorded it. What's the difference between he and I? I never swung at anybody. What's the difference between he and I? I didn't walk across the street looking. He's a coward and I'm not. I'll make a strategic withdrawal. Hell, I'll even hide in the Safeway over by the Starbucks. Now, why do I choose that as a place to hide? Specifically, because I know that there are people in that general area of the store who have met me and know me that will speak up if something happens in the store. Krista was there today. She come walking up to me and she said, "We were just talking about you." Cool. What were they talking about? The guy accosting me outside of the store. I told her I made sure that if he was going to assault me, he did it off property. I also made sure that I let the people there know what was going on. Just like I did at Fred Meyer's. You know, what's the difference between here and Fred Meyer's? At Fred Meyer's, I had to deal with management. Host doesn't give a shit who's right and wrong. He just wanted an excuse to be assholes. Here, I pay attention. I pay attention to the managers, and I also pay attention to the people panhandling. I do that not just for myself, but also for everybody involved. If one of the staff members is trying to kick somebody off the property, and they're allowed to do so as long as it's actually their property, well, I do record it, just in case either A, it's not their property and the person has a right to be there, or B, if the person gets drunk and belligerent and gets violent, I'd like to know that the people at Safeway are safe. I've been yelled at on multiple occasions for being victimized by others. Told that it's my fault, treated like it's my fault, as if I choose the actions of others. There's a lot of people who say, "Oh, well, whatever you think about, that's what's going to happen." Oh, so this dude that I've only met a couple of times while he was riding his bike and trying to troll some little kids. Yeah, that's the way we're going to have to look at it. It took me a minute to recognize where I fucked up on. Now, why was he so brazen as to be a dumbass and put his nasty cock beaters on me? Because there's no fucking consequences. He knows there ain't gonna be no consequences. Ain't none of you gonna fucking call it in. None of you give a holy goddamn. On the bright side, I still stuck up to him, didn't I? I still recorded it, didn't I? Anyway, Miss Krista says I gotta go to church. She insists on feeding me. So I'm going to keep my word. I'm going to go to the church and I'm going to let her feed me. I almost feel rude because I thought she was married, but that's not my business, is it? And I think her sister told me she was married earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday. I just was a bit overwhelmed. I knew that Eileen had said something about one of her daughters being married. It just didn't register to me. Anyway, I'm going to go over to the church, and then I got to come back over here because there's a lady who's going to bring me my jacket. And it was colder than a cast iron commode on the shady side of an iceberg yesterday, or last night, I should say. As a result, I would like to have my jacket and be warm tonight. What are the chances that somebody's going to come up to me and need my jacket again tonight? It's pretty good. I should just carry around extra blankets and jackets in my car like I used to in Boulder. But I don't have access the way I did in Boulder. Alright, let's see what we can do here to improve our lives. Take me to Tillamook Sporting Goods. That's not it. Take me to Tillamook Sporting Goods. Am I actually heading to Tillamook Sporting Goods? No.
Here we go.
Now this is the First Christian Church. This is the one where I was yelled at by Gary when Farnsworth was threatening me.
Stillwell Avenue, then turn left onto Stillwell Avenue.
One of the staff here today said the same thing that Gary told me, but it's a different reaction. And do you know why? Do you know why I have a different reaction to the folks at Starbucks than I do people at a church like that? Well, first of all, them staff members did something immediately. But they didn't go blaming me. They just didn't want no fighting here. Oh. That was smart of me. Krista bought me a coffee. I left it on top of my car and it just fell off. Oh well. It's the thought that counts, right? Now, one thing y'all don't pay attention to is that when people don't do anything about these predators, it allows them access to me over and over again. And the more access they have to me, the more chances they get to harm me. So, like with Farnsworth, for months and months, I had to make sure I didn't go to the churches. To make sure I didn't go anywhere that Farnsworth went. I also had to make sure I didn't go anywhere that Molly went. Meanwhile, I keep getting sent to the services where these people go to hang out. Now, there are an awful lot of my predators who are dead. I ain't gonna lie about that. A fucking shit ton. Out of all my predators who died, the one I was closest to when she was killed was Natalie Bollinger. I was only 5 blocks away from where she got her brains blown out. I was at Kayla Trujillo's on 120th and Melody in Aurora, Colorado. Well, that dude was rude. There's like 4 people waiting on the sidewalk to cross the road, and he was going to run them over. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
In 500 feet, turn left onto US 101 North Pacific Avenue.
The thing is, when this stuff goes unchecked, it gets worse. When predators realize that they can act with impunity, they do.
Turn left onto US 101 North Pacific
Lucky
Avenue.
for me, that brazen stupidity has shown me to be correct over and over again. People didn't want to believe me with Whale and Lola Ty, so he went and proved me right by assaulting 7 other people on camera. People didn't want to believe me about Clearview. They got a big head. Oh, there's Chris. Chris Stafford. Oh, come on. There's a lot more people here who are starting to get to the point that I'm not out to hurt anybody. Hello?
In 800 feet, turn left onto Ocean Avenue.
Hello, You're not going to stand up to him. That's right. Because I will.